Is it a Happy New Year? Is it too late?
Yeah, it's going to be like, or I can make fun of you for saying it if you want. Totally.
I said it to the grandpa who lives here, and I was like,
no. I think there's a meme or something that I saw, and not the first time I've seen it. I think it was like Curb Your Enthusiasm or something. It's like the 7th.
What if you don't see that person
Fuck
until
you
the
missed
New Year?
it. Yeah, no way.
Me?
Fuck you missed it is with that's their sentiment. That's not me saying that to you. I would never speak to my wife that way.
Yeah, but what if it's
that's
like...
the way that...
But if you haven't seen that person since it's been the new year, why is it not okay to say Happy New Year? I don't get it.
I think that's
do whatever
perfectly
you
fine.
want. This is America, you know? We're not living under Sharia law. Or
okay, babe.
I think they have issues with that. I don't know.
I'm a motherfucking woman.
That's true.
So I'm going to continue to say Happy New Year.
Okay.
If I find it appropriate.
That sounds great.
Vibing and thriving. Vibing and thriving. Vibing and thriving.
This episode of We Are New is brought to you by, you guys know how much I love Panamanian anal beads. They are my favorite anal beads that they make. Panama does 2 things perfectly. Well, 3 things. Hats, canals, anal beads. It's their thing. They know what they're doing. These are perfectly designed. They fit, and then they kind of don't. And then they do again. You're going to love it. Just get them now, get them quick, and use our promo code. We Are New. You get a discount, and the first 3 beads are free. The rest of them, you got to pay for the rest of them. But hey, don't sit this one out. Panamanian anal beads. Go get them. Welcome back, babe. We are
Hello.
new. We are new. We are hello. We are back.
Happy New Year.
Anyway, yeah, excited to be doing the show again, you know. I think we're going to mix some things up. We're going to be doing some shorter episodes, which I think is fun. You know, you don't need so much of this. And then that way we can try to make sure it comes out all the time, you know, stuff like that. We've been traveling. Holy shit, we've been traveling a lot. We did something like over 5,000 miles accumulatively or something like that. It's crazy. It was super crazy. So we started off, we went to Las Vegas for our anniversary.
Yes.
Happy anniversary. Is it too late to say that? It was in November.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say so.
We did that. And then we went to New York. And then we went to Hawaii for New Year's. So we went to New York like early December and then Hawaii for New Year's.
Yes.
And when we got back, we were like, thank the baby Lord Jesus that we're back home because we were done traveling.
Yeah.
And then LA was like, welcome, get ready to drown.
Yeah.
Quite the journey.
Yeah, we kept bringing the rain back.
Yes.
Like after our New York trip, it rained in LA when we got back.
Yeah.
Same thing with Hawaii.
For those who don't know, famously doesn't do that here. It doesn't rain at all. Like ever. It's like the kind of thing that even if you don't like rain and then you move to LA and you're like, thank God, no more fucking rain.
Yeah.
You spend a little while here and you're like, man, I wish it would rain like once.
Right.
Like it really does come to like January each year. Maybe it rains once or twice. That's it. That's all year. It'll rain like 2 or 3 times in the middle of winter. And
usually my birthday.
Yeah, that's true. And so it was great. It was great to have. And now this time it was too fucking much. It
was too fucking much to the point where my professor who lives not here was like worried.
1,200 miles away, heard it on the news. You might be in danger of floods.
He emailed me being
LA.
like, hey, hope you're safe. You're good.
Because it's fucking newsworthy. It's crazy.
Yes, it was next level. The videos I saw, it was crazy.
Yikes. Should we start the show? Show? Should we start to speak English? I'm new. We are new.
We are new.
I've been speaking English for 36 days. All
right, babe, let's start the show.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Vibing and thriving, vibing and thriving, vibing and thriving, Vibing and thriving. I'm excited now.
Fuck that. Suck that. Fuck that. Suck that.
Aw, it's nice to hear this again.
Right? It's great to be fucking nuts. Is it not? Do you feel like you have two husbands when you hear that and then you see me speak to you in real life? Is that trippy for you? You're like, it's in my ears. And then he's in my ears right away. Does that?
No.
All right. I got excited about the idea that it would be cool, but it's cool if it's just fucking lame and shit.
Look at the cool new intro. I love it.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
I worked really hard on it. I thought, we're going to mix it up. We had 2 last year. I changed it midway through the year.
I love it.
How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I love the new intro too.
Welcome back to being new.
I have never not been new.
Right. That's so sweet. How were your holidays?
They were good. I did a little bit of traveling, not nearly as much as you guys, but I went to, I'm saying this as if you don't already know it, but for everyone else.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I went to Seattle for Thanksgiving to visit my family, and then Christmas and New Year's I hung out here.
Now, we've talked about this before. What is your family doing in Seattle? That's a city. And your family tends to congregate in the woods without other people.
Well, actually, I don't know if you're joking or not, but funny enough, they actually are in a little place called Edmonds, which is outside of Seattle. Which is very much woodsy. They live in a house surrounded by trees.
Yeah.
And right next to a big park, and then the not the ocean, but the I think the sound or something adjacent to that.
And see, why give everybody the impression that your family are city living liberals who are open-minded and progressive?
Seattle is so much easier to say than Edmonds because you know what Seattle is.
Sure, it's a shorter conversation.
Yeah.
This took no time at all.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Let's talk about. Would you want to talk about the trips a little bit before we get to the game for today, for this week, for this episode?
Let's do it.
For now. Vegas was pretty cool. We had a good time in Vegas. Feels like a million years ago.
It does. Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the Las Vegas trip?
Ooh.
Titty show. Was it the titty show?
Probably going back to our the spot where we got married.
That was pretty dope.
That was super cute.
We did it at the end, right? So we kept not really having time to do that.
Yeah.
The end of us staying there. So we went to Vegas and we stayed in 2 different hotels. When we got married in Las Vegas, we were staying at the Cosmopolitan, but we were getting married at the Paris because of literally the only chapel that had a schedule that fit ours.
Yeah.
Not because we're in love with the Paris hotel. Although we did already at that time plan to go to Paris for part of our honeymoon. So it felt kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we went and did it at the Paris as far as the little ceremony and all that. This time we were let's stay at the Paris for half. And then we'll go to the Cosmopolitan for the other half. So we kind of hit both spots.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're super close to each other.
They're right across the street. Man, the Cosmopolitan is a nice hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking nice. If you go, folks, and you're going to look at the price and you're going to be Jesus, I'm it's worth it. In my opinion, it is a great hotel. And let me tell you why I think it's important to stay at a nice hotel if you can. Okay. If you get sick,
right,
or if you get hurt, or if something happens on your trip that fucks up your trip, here's the thing I've heard a lot from people. Only going to be sleeping there, dude. I'm going to spend a bunch of money on a hotel.
Yeah.
I'm only going to be sleeping there. That's it. What if that changes? That might be your fucking plan.
Yeah,
I'm only going to be sleeping
unpredictable.
there. Life is unpredictable. You could get sick. You could get hurt. It could rain if you're in some place where your plans are outside. I mean, there's so many, you get snowed in. There's so many things that can happen on a trip. And if you invest in the hotel, you leave room to still have a decent fucking time and not be just holed up in a shitty hotel where the AC doesn't work or the towels are dirty or something weird that you skimped on because you're like, I'm only gonna be sleeping there, bro. Fucking, you don't know. So I got sick in Las Vegas. You got sick in Hawaii. Both times it was short. It was like a 12, 15 hour overall like thing that we like dealt with.
Shitty.
But it sucked.
Yeah.
And it was so much easier because we were in bougie ass hotels with like really nice maid service. And they're like, let's get the shit out of here. Right. It was like, it was so worth it. And we ended up spending a kind of like a big chunk of both vacations, not like a majority or anything, but a good little chunk in the room.
Yeah.
And so much happier that they had like decent cable and shit. Most of those places don't make it easy for you to like plug your laptop into the TV. And you want to have a refuge, especially if it's a place you don't know super well, or a place like Vegas where even if you know it well, it's a fucking lot outside your room. And you want to be able to not be on a casino floor.
Oh, and also
in an instant, because it's a lot.
Another highlight is when you said to me when we were playing video poker, double it up.
Yeah. We got a new catchphrase that is very common in our house. You know what's weird that I noticed? Speaking of double it up, we have all these like little catchphrases and inside jokes.
Yeah.
And we never do them on the show. It's like we feel like there are people with us and we like almost never do them, which is so funny because We Are New is like an inside joke that we use to name the show.
Right.
And we say it sometimes on this. But like we ended up not following through after a whole year of being like, we'll say all our little stupid shit.
That's so true.
We never say any of it.
We should do it this year.
You know what we should do? We should take what we did last year, double it up. Let's fucking double it. That means we have to do 2.
I love it.
Easy. Right?
Yeah. And, thankfully it was only like a day, maybe 2 of you being sick.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had our New York trip like very quickly after that. And I was nervous because I didn't get sick.
Right. You're nervous that now your immune system's lower than mine. And
we're going to New York City.
Yeah, which everybody's spread apart and you have a lot of distance.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, shit. Like, I'm glad I didn't get sick. But what if this is the trip that I get sick?
Yeah.
And thankfully that didn't happen.
Especially because for the second half of New York, we went non-bouge and decided to save some money in Brooklyn at the Union Hotel. Man, I can't say it high enough. 2 stars for the Union Hotel. Fucking not great. And I don't know, I don't want to go on and on about it, but it was not a great experience. And you know what is crazy? I think it's one of the only hotels I've ever stayed at where my complaint doesn't have anything to do really with how like dirty it was. It wasn't a dirty place. It was like clean. It was like everything was broken. And the room was so small with the bed that you had to like sidestep around it. Oh my God. Hilarious.
But that trip was so much fun.
A blast. Our first time in New York together.
Yeah.
Saw some of your friends, saw some of my friends. So I ended up seeing a lot of my friends. Went to my work holiday party. Met a bunch of people I've been working with for a long time. And your
college holiday party.
Yeah, but a lot of the people at my work party I'd never met. I've been working with remotely for like a long time. And I finally met these people in person, which is so weird.
Yeah.
That was trippy.
That's how it's going to be in my graduation.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to be. You're going to be like, wow,
I've met one person.
2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Hawaii was great. We went to see Bill Maher for the New Year's Eve show. That was such an interesting experience for like a million reasons.
Yeah.
The main ones being that it was an outdoor amphitheater and there were fireworks happening in the background, which is a weird environment for a comedy show. I've booked a few comedy shows in my life, as a matter of fact, and never in my life thought like, oh man, 4th of July, about 9 o'clock outside, let's do a comedy show. What?
I loved how Jeff Ross
they played
mentioned
with it.
Yeah,
they all played with it a little bit.
He was so good.
So Jeff Ross ended up.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the last, and we'll kind of let this be the capper because we do have some more to talk about, but I want to get to Kyle's game. Dude, this was such a crazy experience. So this was Bill's 11th year doing this New Year's Eve Hawaii show. And I've been hearing about it for a decade as a Bill Maher fan, watching real time. We wanted to go. We went, and I found out at the show that booked on this show originally, which is not going to mean as much to you, but hopefully Kyle will appreciate this a little bit. Originally booked on the show in that spot was Gilbert Gottfried, who most people know as Iago from Aladdin and the original Aflac Duck, but I know as one of my favorite stand-ups ever. He's so fucking funny. Yeah, man, and to see him live would have been insane, but he passed this year, unfortunately. Yeah, it was crazy. Next thing would have been like, oh, we had Saget, but he couldn't, Jesus. No, it's the same thing. He both passed this year, and they're both comics that I would have loved to have seen that are not at the Improv every weekend. Mm-hmm. These are not easy people to catch. And so it would have been great to see Gilbert, but man, closes the door, opens a window. Jeff Ross, who was a good friend of Gilbert Gottfried's, subbed in for him on this lineup, which was really just Wendy Liebman, who's one of my favorite comics I've been following since I was a little kid. And man, Jeff Ross fucking murdered.
Yeah.
It was so good. And he did the audience roast thing where he brings people up and talks shit about their outfits and their demeanor and all that.
It was so fun.
Dude, it was great. It's like an audience roast, 2 separate half hours of Bill Maher, half hour with Wendy Liebman, who's amazing, half hour with Jeff Ross, who fucking really just murdered a pretty tight crowd.
Yeah.
Of mostly older people. And he really loosened them up. It was really impressive. And Sean Penn was there.
Yeah. He walked right in front of us.
He walked out. He said one word, made one little silly joke and then left. He's just an old friend of Bill's. But yeah, it was great. And then the last thing that I'll mention about that, guess who's playing in Honolulu the night of the Bill Maher show I've been planning to go to for 4 or 5 months?
Right.
One of my all-time other favorite comedians is doing a show right across town at the exact same time, fucking Tom Segura. And not only that, it's sandwiched in between because Bill did this weird thing where the show started at 8 and ended at 10, which I think was a venue thing. So it wasn't really like a New Year's Eve countdown show. And motherfucking Tom Segura, I looked this up, by the way. I don't know if I told you.
No.
He did an early and a late show on the same night, which means we couldn't have made either one. Because I looked it up and I was like, maybe we can catch. Yeah. I will pay for, and I'm sorry if it's a lot of comedy. You don't have to go. I will fucking go see Tom Segura and then drive across town or get a lift or whatever and go see Bill Maher. I will watch 5 hours of comedy tonight if that's what I have to do to see these people. And I couldn't do it because they were happening at the same time, basically. But other than that, got blackout drunk for the first time. Never done that. It was a blast. I recommend it. If you haven't gotten totally obliterated blackout drunk before, to where your wife has to get you back to the room and you don't know how you got there, give it a shot. I can't recommend it highly enough. Do it in a nice hotel. But it's pretty good. Pretty good vibe. Dark rum. It's great. It's my new favorite thing. You have a favorite Hawaii moment before we move on?
I just loved the relaxing we did by the poolside.
We really did almost the White Lotus just resort approach to it. We really didn't.
I did a lot of research on where to stay.
Picked a great spot. Prince, Waikiki. We love you. It was great.
Such a great stay. And they had an infinity pool.
Which was dope. That was super cool.
Super dope.
That they serve you dark rum Mai Tais in if you just ask.
And the highlight was it was a no kids allowed pool.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And it was a family pool right next to us. Yeah. So what we got to watch, which is one of my favorite things, is a bunch of disappointed children. It was so great. They're just like, I'm sorry, you actually, but what I can't. But I'm sorry, so we have to I don't make the rules here. And I was like, oh my God.
I will say they have the world's smallest sign that says 16 years and older.
But that's the best part. I almost would be bummed if they had a good sign. Because then I wouldn't get to watch everybody get kicked out while I get drunk. I was getting wasted. Like, ha ha ha! Good luck, buddy.
Let's just say, if there was an Overheard Hawaii Instagram account, we definitely heard the most ridiculous conversation.
Oh, with the dad?
Yeah.
Okay, so last thing, and then we got to move on to the game.
This is pretty great.
So So we've been at this pool. We go to this pool almost every day for like 5 days in a row. And we're down at this pool. It was like one of our last days. And there's this like definitely rich looking, douchey looking dad. And he's got fucking just like a hat on or visor, I think even. And he had like his trunks and he's like shirtless. He's like kind of in good shape. And he's like, it's like kind of douchey looking hot 40 something dad. And he's got a kid, a daughter, and I think a son too. And but the daughter is the point of the story, and she's wearing like a one piece. She's probably 11 or 12, maybe she was a little older, with that like gymnast body, but she was like, you know, almost like preteen girl, young.
Yeah.
And they get in the pool, in the adult pool they're not supposed to be, and they're just kind of they're not harming anyone or bothering anyone, but she is obviously not 16 years old. And so they come by. It's the same people that serve you the drinks are the ones that have to kick everybody out of the pool, which is such a shitty job because they're trying to make tips. And so because there's no lifeguard or anything. And so the fucking servers are coming around being like, actually, sorry, it's just adults only. And they point out, and this guy,
the dad,
he loses his shit in the calmest, douchiest way. Because it's fair to say he lost his shit. He got really frustrated. He's like, and then he starts like name dropping Olympians because apparently his daughter is helping train the Hawaiian Olympic team, swimming team. And he's like, she's training Team Hawaii tomorrow. She's actually training the team. Yeah. So I think she knows how to swim. It's not about swimmability. We just have a policy. Yeah. I'm talking Katie Ledecky over here. He said this. He said the name Katie Ledecky. And I was like, no one gives a lafucky about your daughter's credentials. And this is the other thing that happened constantly. And it was so great because we met another couple very briefly that were like this newly married couple, and the mom had a daughter from a previous marriage, and she and her daughter, who was very young, even younger, like 6 or 7, 8, got kicked out. And she's trying to comfort the daughter. She's like, I don't understand. And I saw another girl. And she's like, I don't know. Maybe we can talk to the blah, blah. She's like accommodating the daughter who like doesn't get it. And then she takes her over to the family pool. And I'm sitting next to the stepdad, whose name was Rob too. And he goes, it's not hard to understand. And I was like, I don't want to be the one to say it. Sure. And he goes, and he says it quite frankly to me. He goes, I remember not having kids, because he had his own kids too. It wasn't like this was his first kid. But he was like, I remember not having kids. Sometimes you want to swim with no fucking kids. And I was like, this is a Rob. This guy's the best. He totally gets it. And he's like, you don't want to tell him. It's like, it's not about how good you can swim. It's not about insurance liability. It's about having an area where the adults can get drunk and not have you splashing and kicking and being a fucking kid around them.
Yeah.
They want a no kid zone. It's not about anything personal. It's who you are and your identity as a child. You can't escape this. Get out.
Yeah.
There's another bigger pool right here where you're welcome. That's it. They just think the infinity thing's cool, and then they get pissed that they can't go to the edge or whatever. And it's like, that's also kind of why you're not allowed. It's like a moth to a flame.
Yeah.
It's that time of the year again, folks. It is time to stock up. You need to be ready. Do you need to put a lid on your lady? Do you need to ship your sister somewhere? Do you need to preserve your pops? Cans for Cannibals, everybody. They're the only containers that are specifically designed for cannibals to preserve your human remains until you are ready to use them. Maybe you're trying to ferment someone that you care about dearly, or maybe you are giving a gift to someone you love, made out of someone you love. Whatever your situation is, it's Cans for Cannibals, all right? You got to get it. Go to the website, cansforcannibals.com. They help pay for this episode, believe it or not. Shut the fuck up, Kyle. I'm sorry. I was fine. All right. Kyle, we got a game. We got a welcome back game. Welcome back, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I figured for the for our first episode back, we just stick with the classic and talk about some assholes.
Yes.
I don't like the way you set it up.
I know. That's why I do.
You got to stop saying it like that. We're not here to talk about people's assholes.
I never. You were adding the people's.
Yeah, my brain didn't even go there, babe.
That is exactly where both Francisco Ramos and I went the last time he said that shit.
I definitely have been doing it since then. That was an accident, that first one with Ramos. But since then, I've kind of been
fantastic
leaning into
it. All right, anyway, let's do it.
Let's talk about... Can't do it now. Okay.
Let's go. Let's give you some scoring.
Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole, everybody? Am I the asshole?
All right. So am I the asshole for showing up to my husband's doctor appointment?
That's it?
I'm hearing
music.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Oh, got it.
I was giving you scoring for am I the asshole?
Scoring.
That's
it. You're mixing things up.
That's just the
first
line. That's the headline.
Okay.
Showing up to my husband's doctor's appointment.
Okay.
It's certainly an interesting phrasing because it sounds like she's not invited.
Right.
Showing up to it.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for just showing? Yes. I think anyone who shows up to my doctor's appointment, that's not me or my doctor or someone I asked to come in there.
I think the phrasing especially gives a lot of hints.
Says a lot. Yeah.
Because it doesn't say not invited. It just says, am I the asshole for showing up to my husband's doctor appointment?
Okay.
With him? I don't know. So yeah. Okay, let's go. What else?
So my husband has been dealing with some health issues the past few weeks and has been frequently visiting the doctor. I asked if I could go with him, but he refused, saying it wouldn't be necessary. And when I asked why he wouldn't want me with him, he said he felt more comfortable having privacy with his doctor.
Okay.
Simple. I jokingly asked if the doctor was a woman, and he glanced at me. I anticipated his next doctor appointment and decided to go meet him there. He went in, and 10 minutes later, I entered the office. I identified myself as his wife, and he was shocked when he saw me. I greeted his doctor, a man, and she was LOL, and we talked, but my husband refused to even look my way and refused to speak as well. We left the office together, and he went off on me in the car, saying I shouldn't have followed him and came into the doctor's office after he asked for some privacy. I said it was all right. I'm his wife. I already even know what the issues are and just wanted to show support.
Oh, no.
He said I overstepped his one boundary and refused to respect his wish and made him more stressed than he already is in these hard times that he's going through. I thought he overreacted, but am I the asshole?
Yes.
Yeah, you suck, lady.
I think there's a bigger issue, which is trust.
Trust, boundaries is definitely a thing. Well put by the guy for saying, like, I have one bound. I'm not even a picky dude. I got one thing. I'm like, let me go to the doctor by myself. Yeah, that's crazy. Respect the privacy. And again, trust, because she essentially lied to him by agreeing not to go and then going anyway.
Yeah.
So that's a betrayal of trust.
Anticipating his next appointment, too, like really planning it ahead.
Yeah, she did research. She's almost like she might as well be a private investigator in her own marriage. That's fucking weird,
and I think, like, whether you're married or not, health things are like a very sensitive or vulnerable thing.
And you don't decide what the fuck is supportive for someone.
Right.
Like she explicitly is like, should I do this thing? Will it make things better? He's like, I'd prefer you didn't. It will make things worse. She does it anyway. And then her excuse is I was trying to help. That logically is fucking without. There is no logic to that. That makes no sense. Hey,
she's trying to cover her ass by saying, I love you. I'm here to support you.
I think she really thinks that. I think she really thinks like, I'm trying to help. Let me help. And it would be like if I was fixing a car and I was under the hood and I don't know how to do everything under there, but there's some things I do know how to do. And you came over and you were like, do you need any help? And I was like, I'm just changing the battery. It's fine. I'm good. Thank you. And then you start plugging things in and getting involved. Like, no, I explicitly said, don't get involved in this. I got it.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That makes no sense. And you don't know what's going on and you were told it's not helpful to have you there. And then you insert yourself into that situation. Who does that shit? That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
If she really thought the guy was fucking his doctor, I was onto it for a second of like, that's weird, but okay, let's look into it. And then he comes in and it turns out like Miss Oklahoma or whatever is his doctor. And you're like, I don't like this. You're alone. You insist on being alone with this hot woman. Like,
yeah.
But then it's a guy. Get out of here, you crazy jealous chick. That sounds like what this is to me.
Yeah, she clearly doesn't trust him.
She thought he was fucking a doctor, and he's not, because it's a guy, and he's straight, and he doesn't fuck guys. He's just trying to get some medical help.
Yeah. She's definitely the asshole.
She's the asshole. Fired from the band. Get out of here.
Agreed.
That's not even controversial. I like this. That's a good mix, Kyle, because a lot of times it's controversial and we're like, I don't know. It depends and the details and this chick sucks.
Well, I like to try to find, because I mean, most of the ones that we've done are, there's been a few that were kind of murky, but most of them are the poster is not the asshole. So it's harder to find the ones where they're clearly an asshole. And it's just because it's funny, you have to have a certain kind of mindset to be able to type this out.
Right. That's the weird thing is that this
thinking that they're going to have people on their side being like, oh, he's such an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I could see girls siding with her.
That's wild to be like, is that a thing? Because that's like, he said I looked kind of fat, so I kicked him as hard as I could in the balls. Am I the asshole? And it's like, are you really thinking you were in the right there?
But I've met some
other assholes
characters out there who see the world differently.
I'm sure that there are people that would agree with her. I think where she kind of loses it is in her nonchalant approach to this. If it was like, I really thought he was cheating on me, and like it was driving me crazy, and I just had to know. Right. So I showed up. It was wrong. I shouldn't have done that, but I just had to know. And even if you ended in like I thought he was overreacting, but it was like I thought he was overreacting, but I was justified because I thought he was lying. But no, she's just like
she calculated everything.
Yeah. And the only time that she this reads to me like the main thing is her asking if the doctor was a woman, but she only is one line, and she says she jokingly said it, but I think that's the center of the whole thing. And I agree. Everything else is fluff to try to cover that up.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just a crazy, jealous person.
So if she'd been upfront, I think people would be a little more supportive.
Didn't get past us. We're not that fucking new. About that.
Yeah.
Welcome back, babe. I'm going to take out my headphone on accident.
Love
if that's
that for
okay with you. Don't worry, in the next episode, I'll grow my hair out so that I can do the covert version like you and no one will see.
Yeah, I originally grew my hair out just for that, and then I started wearing these like over the ear things.
You grew out your hair to cover the headphones?
Yeah.
Your headphones go over your head.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is originally I did it to cover them, and then I started using this, and it was like, why am I growing my hair out now? I don't know.
These are great questions.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are new.
Yay!
2023, baby. I don't know if that's even in either shot, but...
Did you say 2022 or 2023? Did you say 2023? Okay. My mind spaced for a second.
He said 3. Are you just making sure he said the wrong date?
And cut.
And we're out.
Yo, you watched a whole episode of We Are New, the best podcast with viewers in the double digits. I hope you enjoyed it. There's more episodes and clips available for you in these locations. So please click on them and watch them. Maybe you want to know more about us. Maybe you want to feel like you're our friends. Well, we're very selective about our friends in real life, but you can feel like you're our friend if you watch more of our content. Thank you. Fucking nuts.